So, Lainey, your current single, which is climbing the American country charts as we speak, is Heart Like a Truck. You wrote this song with Dallas Wilson and Tranny Anderson. It's this brilliantly well-written, self-aware song about coming to terms with heartbreak and the letdowns in life. Tell me a bit about how this track came together, would you?
Absolutely. Yeah. So me, Dallas, and Tranny wrote this song in the thick of the pandemic. It was Tranny's idea. And of course, just even when she said the title, I was like, count me in. I'm all about it. I was excited to write a song called Heart Like a Truck that really has nothing to do with a truck. We ended up first writing the song kind of it was going the wrong direction. We were kind of writing it as an upbeat rocking song, and we kind of stopped there about 30 minutes in, and we were like, are we being honest with ourselves? Are we being honest with the people who are going to be hearing this song? We're in the thick of a pandemic. Let's make people feel something, and that's what we did. We ended up going that route, and it's just a song about finding freedom and strength and being okay with the scratches and the dents and the bumps along the way, because at the end of the day, that's what makes you you.
So, Heart Like a Truck is going to feature on your new album, Bell Bottom Country. That's coming out on the 28th of October. There's two other songs which people can stream and download now. I want to ask you about those. Firstly, Watermelon Moonshine.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that. That was a write with Jordan Schmidt and Josh Kerr, yeah?
Yep, that's it. Two incredible songwriters. And, Josh had brought this idea in, and I think we had all had a love like that back in the day. It's a song about that young, wild, crazy love that we have all felt at some point in time. And kind of similar to Heart Like a Truck, it really has nothing to do with watermelon moonshine. I mean, it does taste good, but it's about that feeling that you had back in the day when nothing else mattered except for that first kiss, or for that moment that you were spending with a person who thought you were going to be with forever. And it's a throwback kind of feel song that it just feels timeless to me.
Mm-hmm. And the other song that's available, Live Off, I mean, you sing the hell out of that one. There's like real Steven Tyler vibes going on. Again, that was another write with Tranny and Dallas and also Adam Doliak. Tell me
Yes.
about that one, would you?
Yeah, so we actually wrote this song on a writer's retreat in Arizona. And I didn't have much time to write last year, so I was like, okay, we need to figure out when I can do it, when I'm on the road. And we happened to be playing a show in Arizona, so they ended up coming out there, and we wrote. It was a song that actually Dallas, Tranny, and Adam had started probably like a year or so before, and they just felt like it wasn't right, and they brought it to me, and we pretty much kind of rewrote it, and it is one of my favorite songs on the record. First of all, I just think the melody is just so cool and dynamic, but also it's talking about all the things that make me me, all the things that I live off of, whether it's a dog in the bed, whether it's talking to my mom on Sundays, fried chicken. Like, these are all the things that make my world go around. And I think if you listen top to bottom, you'll find something in there that makes your world go around too.
I'm always really fascinated when I speak to artists who work with Jay Joyce, because they talk about the unusual methods and approaches that he adopts. Tell me about your experience working with the man and what you believe he's been able to sort of bring out and develop within your sound.
For sure. So I met Jay, it was 2018. And before we decided to work together, we just got to know each other. I would go over to his studio. I didn't even play him music. I just went in there, and we pretty much just caught up and talked about where we were from, and just got to know each other. And I think that's important. I think that's important for a producer to get to know the artist, and vice versa too. But he has helped me figure out exactly what bell bottom country sounds like. We were dipping our toes in with Saying What I'm Thinking, my first record, and I think we did an incredible job. But with this next record coming out October 28th, I truly feel like we have both. Well, I have gotten to know myself better as a songwriter, as an artist. I feel like I have just grown leaps and bounds over the last few years, and I think Jay has really paid attention to what I'm trying to say and how I'm trying to say it. And he is a mad scientist. It's like he throws everything into a pot, stirs it up, and you're like, what is this man doing? But there is a method to the madness.
And for yourself, I mean, the accolades just keep coming. Back in March, you were named ACM New Female Artist of the Year. Things a Man Ought to Know was named Song of the Year. I mean, you're up for favorite female country artist at the American Music Awards. You've just been named CMT Breakout Artist of the Year, and you're heading into the CMAs as the most nominated artist. 6 nominations. I mean, to come from a small town in Louisiana with a population of less than 300 to move to Nashville with a dream in a camper trailer, and the struggle. I've been to Nashville. I don't know how anybody manages to make it. It's just so competitive and so cutthroat, and there's just talent everywhere. But from the struggle of trying to get even to play in bars to your life now, how surreal it's become. What kept you strong even in the tough times and pushing through that, believing in the dream?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I think I was just a little borderline insane because I should have packed it up and went to the house. But I'll say I've always had a weird sense of peace about knowing that this was it. I mean, even at 9 years old, my mom and daddy, we went on a family vacation to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and on the way home to Louisiana, they ended up driving through Nashville just so I could see it. And we went to the Grand Ole Opry, and I remember being on the interstate and telling my mom and daddy, I said, "This is home." I just knew it. I knew that I wanted to be a part of the country music world. I didn't know how in the world I was going to do it. But I even knew at 9 years old that this is what I was going to do. I needed to figure out how to get here. A lot of people, when you live in a town of 200 people, a lot of people don't ever leave. And I was one of the few people who did. But I'll say my support system back there is pretty unreal. So the times when I should have loaded it up and went home, I had my family support. I had faith. I feel like I had grit and determination. And I think that right there is handed down from my mom and daddy. I mean, they're both 2 tough cookies, and giving up is not even in their vocabulary.
And we're going to see you very soon joining the cast in season 5 of Yellowstone. You've been out in Montana filming. Tell me a bit about the character you play, Abby. I believe the show's co-creator, Taylor Sheridan, specifically created this character for you.
Yeah, so Yellowstone has put 3 of my songs in the show so far, and really just introduced my music to a crowd of folks who, might not have access to streaming or radio. And it's just been so cool. And Taylor called me back in February and said, "Hey, I want to create a character specifically for you, and let me know what you think about it." And I'm like, without even skipping a beat, I said, "Yes, sign me up. Any opportunity for me to be able to share more of my music with the world, I'm down." So yeah, we dove in head first, and I'm playing a musician named Abby. I'm getting to wear my crazy clothes, sing my crazy songs, and just be me. And it's truly a blessing from the Lord.
And what's super exciting for us is the fact that you're coming over next year to play the C2C Festival.
I am. And it's been too long, really. It has been way too long with the world being shut down. I mean, we really didn't know. We were like, when can we get back over there? And it just so happens that we're going to be able to next year. And my entire crew is just pumped.
You've not long finished a US tour with John Party and Hayley Witters. I spoke to Hayley at C2C Dublin in March of this year, and she was just so pumped for that run. What was it like?
Well, first of all, John Party does not get his last name by happenstance. He is a party, and he likes to have a dang good time. Yeah. So trying to keep up with him is hard, but so much fun. I mean, he made sure that me and Hayley felt included the entire time. He's just a good dude, and his wife too, Summer. They're just good people. And Hayley's a dear friend of mine. I love and believe in her so much, and I think she's just cool. She's one of the cool kids.
Can I just ask, a lot has been written and said in recent times about how perhaps more difficult it is for females in country to get things like radio play and get on the bills of the big festivals, as opposed to men. As one of the few who are managing to achieve all of this, do you have any idea what you're doing differently?
That's hard to say. I will tell you, there's definitely been times where I'm like, okay, if I was a dude and I have worked as hard as I have worked, and I have been in town for 11 years, I'd be a lot further along by now. I definitely had these thoughts a couple years ago. But anytime I felt that way, it just made me want to work harder because I had stuff to prove. I'm like, no, we're not allowing this. I've got something to say too. And I'll tell you, I've been lucky enough to, a lot of the male artists here in town who just genuinely are fans of mine and believe in me and love me. And they know that I'm gonna outwork them, and they know I'm gonna beat them. So I'm like, sit down, boys.
And what about, because I love your new collaboration with Hardy, Wait in the Truck. I mean, there's a darkness there, a grittiness. That's proper country, right?
It is. It takes me back to that 90s country. I mean, that's why I fell in love with country music in the first place, the storytelling.
Yeah.
It reminds me of songs like The Thunder Rolls, Garth Brooks, and Whiskey Lullaby, and Goodbye Earl.
Yeah.
It's just a story. It's a story song, and it's a murder ballad, but at the end of the day, it's talking about something that a lot of folks really don't want to talk about, but it's important.
Yeah. Lainey, listen, I really appreciate you giving me some time. The new album, Bell Bottom Country, is out again October 28th. Good luck, obviously, at the CMAs. You're going to, sweep the board. You're going to be like Michael Jackson at the Grammys. But, and also give your father my best. I know he's been going through
Thank
a
you.
rough patch with his health,
Thank you so much for that. He is turning a corner. He's actually home now, and I'm hoping he's going to walk the CMA carpet with me.
Lovely.